Angelina, it's Becky. So if you want to go ahead and set this to record, that would be good. We'll get started shortly.
Okay, it's ready.
Well, to everyone on the participating on our webinar, this is Becky Binder with Cornet Global, and I'm so glad that you're taking time today to join us for this webinar. And I just really wanted to thank you for taking time to be here. You'll be serving as reviewers for the proposals for the 2015 summits. Can you believe it's that time already? For the EMEA and North America summits. So thank you so much for that. You were selected because of your knowledge of Cornet Global. You have many areas where you're very engaged, from the chapter level to all the different things that you participated on, and we think that those are excellent criteria to help for you, because you know a lot about all Cornet Global, you know a lot about what interests other members, and those are things that will help make you really good reviewers. And we have a great diversity of organizations represented among you, and globally as well. So it's really good, and we're just glad you're here, and thank you for serving as the 2015 reviewers. Today, what we'll be going through are the things that are bulleted on the slide in front of you, which is we'll go through the guidelines for reviewing proposals, for the criteria for reviewing them. We'll talk about what it's like to use AI, which is Attendee Interactive. That's the platform where the proposals are hosted. We'll go through some key dates and then take Q&A. And so let's get started with the guidelines so that you understand what's in store for you as we work through this webinar and then through the next coming couple weeks and the month of February. Guidelines for reviewing. This is an important part of the webinar. So we ask that you don't discuss or share proposals with others. It is an online review process, so you can go on online anytime and review the proposals. We'll be sending you a login and password and activating the site for your access later this month. And then another key point here is if you or your organization has submitted a proposal, we ask that you just recuse yourself from reviewing it. So don't review it, just skip on to the next one. So that's an important thing too. We ask that you complete your reviews by 27 February. And then please don't reach out or make commitments to any of the submitters or any of the potential speakers. So those are important guidelines as you review the proposals. And we'll take questions and answers at the end. It's a pretty straightforward process with reviewing everything, but it's a time-consuming one as it takes time to read and think about them and then assign the ratings. So when you're looking at the proposals, here are the things that you'll be asked to assess. It's the thoroughness, or how well the proposal is completed. It's the alignment of the proposal with the summit theme. And I encourage you to go online and familiarize yourself with the theme, which is disruptive innovation. It's the expertise of the speakers, the quality of the learning objectives, and looking to see that do those objectives really match up to what's described in the proposal description. So you'll see a title of the proposal, you'll see a paragraph or two description, and you'll see learning objectives. So, you know, just kind of double check that. Does what they're saying that they're going to do, does that match back to the proposal? Because all those pieces come together. How relevant and practical is the information? Is it something that's new or unique to the community? And a multidisciplinary approach. That's something that's a little bit of a different focus for this year, but we're looking to see how other expertise can come together with the summit and bring in and infuse new thinking and help solve some of these complex problems that people address throughout their proposals. So those are 7 different criteria that you'll be looking at and assigning a rating to each one of those orange words on your screen. You'll also then assign to each proposal an overall score. So you'll be looking at these individual criteria and then assigning a score to it. I do encourage you to read the proposals first. Just go through and read them before you start to think about assigning a rating to them, because I think it's really helpful to step back and kind of get that holistic sense of, okay, this is the types of things that are coming through. Here are the things and issues that are being posed and raised, and you get a much better sense of how to rate them once you've got that you've stepped back and got an overall view. Then you can go in, I think, and really start to assign ratings and really think about it from that perspective. So I encourage you to just take some time, read them as a bunch, and then go in and assign ratings. So here's your rating scale. On the criteria that I just showed you on the previous page, it's a 1 to 5 scale, and you assign that to each of the criteria and then give us your overall score. The piece here that's really, really helpful is if you have comments, comments are wonderful because a number is one thing. A comment often provides a lot of insight. So as much as possible, if you would make a comment on a proposal, that's really, really helpful. And there's just some really good information that tends to come through in your comments. So that's the rating scale that you apply to the criteria on the slide before. And we'll send you a document. We're going to send everybody who's rating and reviewing the proposals a document that summarizes these points in here and shows you some actual screen captures from AI. But we'll do that as we get closer to the date and when we send out the passwords. But you'll have, between this webinar and between the document that we'll send you, the process itself you'll find is pretty intuitive. It's easy to get into the AI system. You know the criteria that you're rating them by. It's that it's not a hard process in that sense. It just where we need for you to be the thoughtful, careful reviewer. Okay. Some important dates to keep in mind. On the 23rd of this month, the call for proposals for EMEA and North America closes. We will be sending you on the 29th the login and the guidelines, that document that I just talked about with the screen captures and this type of information. So it'll be a good refresher for you. We'll send that out on the 29th. And then we ask that you basically review the proposals during the month of February. So begin on the 2nd and wrap things up by the 27th. If you find that something changes in your workload and you don't think you can review, if you would just let us know in advance, that would be helpful. We understand that things change and assignments come through, and that would be helpful for us to know in advance if that's the case. And one of the questions that I wanted to address, or things that I wanted to address with you, is what happens after the proposals are rated? Well, your ratings and comments, they surface the best of the best proposals. You all have a very good sense of what will be appealing, attractive, what is compelling, and your ratings are going to make the best of the best bubble up. It happens every time. It's a great process, and it works really well. And then what happens is the senior staff will really go through and look at all of the vetting that you provide and getting to what we think is the most compelling program. And we'll work on that. And it's really a mixture of factors that go into deciding the final summit program. It's trying to get a great mix of the most compelling content, great speakers, it's good organizations, lots of cross-representation. So it's those are part of the factors that going into that final selection of the program. If we think that it would be helpful to convene you as a group on a call to discuss some of the top proposals, we'll do so. That's something that we'll do on an as-needed basis. So I went through this hopefully in what is a straightforward manner for you. I think one of the questions that I can anticipate you might ask is how many proposals will you evaluate? And the honest answer is it depends. It depends on how many proposals we receive for the summits. In the application that you submitted, you prioritized your areas of expertise. So what I'll do is try and match everyone up the best I can with their areas of expertise. We'll try and make things equal, not give anybody more than what they can handle. But my intent is that you would review the proposals from both summits. This is the first time we've had a true across-the-board global summit review team. It's been done differently in different parts of the region, but this is our first year of this really broad global approach. We'll be doing more webinars, well, one tomorrow morning to help with those who are in Europe who will be reviewing. We have another webinar scheduled for later next week in the evening to help hit those in Asia. So, but we'd like everyone to try and review the proposals from both summits. And the amount, well, like I said, that just it depends upon how many are received and how many come in each category and how that kind of tracks back to your areas of expertise. So that final piece will be sorted out after the proposals close. At this point, I think the most helpful thing I might be able to do is answer questions. So if you have any questions, please let us know.
Hi, Becky. This is Clay Hayden. How are you?
Hi, Clay. Good. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. You too. Are the needs of the audiences between the two summits any different? So, for example, should we lean on different factors of presentations more or less for one summit than the other?
I think the needs are pretty much the same. Sometimes the issues are a little bit different about what's important or what's more significant, say, in Asia. And an example of that is, I think, some of the topics around talent and attracting and retaining are bigger issues there than they would be for North America. But I think basically, you know, it's multinational firms that are attending, and you can use the same criteria, and it will work well.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions out there?
Hi, this is Bruce Holter. I actually jumped on the call a little late. I didn't catch the reminder on my calendar. Did you say you were going to have some follow-up Webex meetings?
We do. We'll have one tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., and I can forward that to you. Bruce, what's your last name?
Holter, H-O-L-T-E-R.
Okay, I can email that if you'd like. But also, Bruce, we'll be sending out a document around the 29th that has screen captures and this type of information repeated in it, along with your login and password to AI.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
This is Jennifer Hill. Did you say that, so when we get proposals to review, will we know whether or not it's for which summit?
Yes, you will.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they've had to pick that criteria when they submitted their proposal.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. If there aren't any more questions, then we can wrap up for today. But you know, if you think of something, please send me an email. I'm bbinder@cornetglobal.org, or give us a call, and we'll talk through it. But the process has proved it works really well. It's just, you know, and we really need your time and thought in reading and rating the proposals. That's the key piece right there.
Thank you.
Thank you.